Good evening, and thank you for joining us virtually this evening for the Ballarat Health Services Year in Review. I would like to welcome the board of Ballarat Health Services, the executive team, BHS staff, patients, and the community who we care for, who may be with us this evening. Ballarat Health Services acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land, the Wathaurong people, on which our hospital operates, and we pay our respect to elders past, present, and emerging. Ballarat Health Services celebrates the continuing culture of the Wathaurong people and recognises and values the contributions that the Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people make in our society. This event is a celebration of the year that was and the people who make Ballarat Health Services what it is. We will also recognise the history of our health service as we look toward our future. To begin with, I'd like to introduce the Chair of Ballarat Health Services, Natalie Ryder, who will take you through the key achievements for the past 12 months. Thanks, Natalie.
Thanks, Dale, and thanks everyone joining us here this afternoon on Facebook. As always, Ballarat Health Services is committed to delivering quality care to the communities we service by providing safe, accessible and integrated health services which result in positive experiences and outcomes. Our values of teamwork, respect, accountability and compassion underpin the work our staff undertake every day of the year as they deliver improvements to your health through world-class healthcare. We recognise our staff are who we are, and we strive to foster a vibrant and positive work culture to benefit our whole community. Proudly, the board agree our staff have exemplified these values over the past 20 months as they have heroically met the COVID challenges for our community. There's no doubt that in many ways, the past year has been one of the most challenging we have experienced. COVID-19 has dominated everything we do. And as a community, we've truly been in this together, and it's been a big task. What this time has demonstrated is our staff's ability to adapt quickly, think outside the box, and band together to support our community in ways we never imagined. Some of the key highlights over the past year have been the establishment of the Grampians Public Health Unit and the Cluster Aged Care Hub, which continue to play a crucial role in the state's recovery response. We've safely led our community through COVID education and support, contact tracing, testing, vaccination and inpatient care at a time of great uncertainty. The commencement of stage 1 of the base hospital redevelopment has occurred. It's a project worth over $540 million, and it's a huge undertaking that will future-proof our capacity to continue meeting the needs of our growing community. The upgraded hospital will provide new emergency department, state-of-the-art theatre suite, and an extra 100 inpatient short-stay beds. A new expanded critical care floor will also bring together operating theatres, procedure rooms, and endoscopy suites, offering the capacity for an additional 4,000 surgeries every year. This first stage is an early works component and includes alterations to level 3 of brick building to accommodate additional consulting rooms, refurbishment of the old CAF on level 1 to house dietetics and clinical administration, and construction of new pods on the ground floor for our reception and information desk, support services, the mail room, and a prayer room and spiritual centre. And we thank the Victorian Government for their support in making all of this possible. We'll now play a short video with an artist impression of the redevelopment works. An exciting time, I'm sure you'll all agree. The past year has seen the establishment of BHS at Home, a model of care offering some patients the option to continue receiving hospital care safely in the comfort of their own home. An expansion of this model has meant some patients have not had to come into hospital at all. Many COVID positive patients are being assessed and monitored in their homes, and the feedback from the community has been very positive, with one family displaying this kind message in their window to say thank you. It's amazing too how important it is for us to say thank you to each other, and this is one of the ways BHS is saying thank you to you as a community this afternoon. Other highlights over the year include pioneering same-day hip and knee replacement surgery through the leadership of Dr. David Mitchell, the first of its kind in Victoria, being appointed as the service lead for the Ballarat Early Parenting Centre, which will consist of 10 residential family units and 4 day stay beds, implementing the hospital outreach post-suicide engagement project, appropriately referred to as HOPE, opening the Grampians Prevention and Recovery Care Centre, a 12-bed residential setting for people experiencing mental illness in Ballarat and the Grampians region, and finally, during NAIDOC week last year, unveiling our beautiful and impressive bundle artwork installation at the Drummond Street entrance and the QE Centre. This artwork was designed by local Aboriginal woman Lona Clark and has become an important symbol of our pride and commitment to serve our Aboriginal and Torres Strait Island communities, and more broadly, a recognition of the importance of Aboriginal history, culture and inclusion in our community. Beautiful bundle. Beyond COVID and these selected highlights, BHS has continued to provide exceptional care to our community 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, every day of the year. I really believe the health service staff deserve specific credit this year. Dale, you have again risen to deliver above and beyond for the BHS community, and we are sure the exec team and staff are equally as grateful to you as the board are. Thank you for your leadership, calm under pressure, and persistence to do the hard things that have taken BHS from being good to great. Dale's supported by a fantastic executive team who we know lead the magnificent staff that is BHS. Words are a poor substitute to convey the debt of gratitude we owe for working in exceptionally challenging conditions. Your efforts have been truly appreciated, and on behalf of the board, the executive and the wider community, thank you.
Thank you, Natalie, and thank you for the very kind words and your guidance as chair during this period. Ballarat Health Services is backed up by a board with incredible experience and knowledge, providing leadership at the very highest levels for the betterment of health in our community. Our board members are not always known people, so today I wanted to introduce them to you, and we've had the video out, and stay tuned for some budding actors. So if you can roll the video, please, on introducing the board members.
My name is Natalie Rita. I'm the chair of Ballarat Health Services and have been a board member since mid-2016. I'm passionate about developing local communities to be healthy and thrive, and to do this through living and working locally. My proudest moment with BHS has been the performance of the BH team in managing the COVID response, and more recently the vaccination program. They've been selfless in their commitment to keeping the people of Ballarat safe.
My name is David Miller and I've been a board member since 2015, 6.5 years now. I joined the board at a time when I just recently retired, and I wanted to continue to play a role in the community, to be able to continue to be engaged. I didn't want to just retire away and do nothing. So when the opportunity came to apply for the position on the board, I jumped at it and was delighted to be appointed. My proudest moment with BHS has been really when I first joined the board. There were some cultural problems across the organisation, and these were well known. And through some really good recruitment, strong leadership, I think over the period of time that I've been on the board, this has turned around dramatically.
My name is Simon Bond. I've been a board member since, I think, 2017. I'm a IT professional, serving as in roles such as a CIO or CTO of quite a few private organizations, founded a couple of my own companies, and yeah, managed to find a role on the board where I get to use those skills to help other people. My proudest moment with BHS is a bit hard to articulate. I think it's a fantastic organization. There are so many people working so hard every day to make a difference in people's lives. And I think it all, when bad things happen, it comes out in the news, but all the good things that happen every day get lost in the noise. And I think that the people that have been able to keep fighting those battles and keep making those differences, even when, it's not acknowledged, um, you know, and being able to do it for so long and ongoing is one of the things that I'm most proud to be associated with BHS.
My name is Dr. Peter Lynch. I've been a board member at Ballarat since July 2018. I'm passionate about high quality services and person-centred care for patients and members of the community. I'm passionate about health services striving their best to provide the highest quality health care services. And I'm passionate about people's rights in the healthcare system to both, firstly, access quality care and also have their rights to pursue quality mechanisms if they find their care is not up to the standards that they were expecting, or associated issues such as communication. I strongly believe they have the rights to have those issues resolved. There's been many things to be proud of over the 3.5 years that I've been on the board. Firstly, the health services continue to provide very high standard, high quality care, and has matched the measurements and exceeded the measurements of so many key performance indicators indicating high quality and efficient care. Secondly, I've been very proud that the health services achieved a further grant from the government to enhance the redevelopment of the Ballarat-based hospital precinct. And I've been very proud that the performance of the health service during the challenges of COVID, and the excellent performance of the executive team, the chief executive, the executive team, and the general and clinical staff of Ballarat Health Services during this very challenging 2-year period.
My name is Cora Trevathan, and I've been a board member since 2019. I joined the board to make a contribution to public health in regional Victoria. I felt that my experience in corporate governance, as well as familiarity with the successful delivery of major capital projects, would enable me to make a positive contribution. I am passionate about Victorians, that wherever they live, they have access to great medical and health services that are delivered safely with the patient's needs as true north.
My name's David Anderson. I've been a board member at Ballarat since July 2019. I joined the board because I'm always concerned about health services spending their money wisely and as being as efficient as possible. I'm very proud of the Ballarat Health Services board because of the range of skills on the board. Everyone on the board is willing to give an opinion and willing to push the organisation forward.
My name is Jane Paletti, and I've been a board member of BHS since 2019. I believe that all Australians should have the opportunity to live a fulfilling and healthy life. This includes being able to access an excellent healthcare system. Currently, there is a disparity between those who live in Metro Melbourne and those in regional and rural Australia, and I want to be involved in improving access to quality healthcare for all Victorians. So I have many proud moments with BHS. Hard to pick one. The CEO and his team and all the staff never fail to impress and amaze me. This past 18 months or so, I've seen everyone at BHS step up and go beyond the normal call of duty. So many difficult issues to deal with, so much complexity, but BHS people have continually given their best to keep the community safe and supported. They are an inspiration.
My name is Heather Pickard and I've been a board member at Ballarat Health Services since July 2020. And I joined the board as I wanted to turn my energy towards governance in a broader range of health response. Being in community services in mental health and addiction, I felt that I'd come to the point in my journey where I wanted a broader lens of health services such as is provided by Ballarat Health Services. I am passionate about equity of access to high quality health care wherever you reside, whatever your culture and whatever your diverse needs may be. And I'm also passionate about workforce health. Look, I felt many proud moments being a director at Ballarat Health Services. I think I've been extremely proud of the way that we've mobilised to support the community in COVID vaccination and COVID responses more generally, and the way we've been able to get out to broader reaching health services and assist them in that rollout as well. But I think the most dearest memory in my heart is I was at an unrelated event, an executive event, and I heard a CEO start to talk about a recent experience where she'd had to put her precious mum into rehab, and my ears picked up. And then she went on to say that it was the Queen of Liz rehab, and that she felt the services that were offered there were so compassionate, the staff were so caring, and that had enabled her family and her mother to have a sense of safety and true authentic care in her time there. And that was very, very moving as a board director. That is almost as good as it gets.
What an amazing reflection of the experiences of our board and the qualities that they possess. And I sincerely do thank them for their continuing support of both me, but also of the organisation. They truly do go the extra step to produce good governance. And without good governance, we have lots of challenges. Our board are an important cog in the wheel of Ballarat Health Services, but so too are the executive and the staff. More broadly, the staff of BHS as well. And as Natalie has said, they have well and truly gone above and beyond the call of duty in the last year. COVID has been a huge additional workload to our everyday work. While we have all endured the lockdowns, our staff have been on duty and alert to the threat of COVID. They have had uncomfortable, hot PPE, goggles, gloves, masks, gowns, and they've coped every day without complaint. They've also had the opportunity to homeschool and to be subjected to lockdown. So in addition to coming to work in uncomfortable conditions, they've had to then make sure that they've got scarce resources at the supermarket they may have to get from time to time. So, they've truly had to endure quite a lot. And at the same time they've done this, they've continued to provide high quality, first class healthcare for our community. And I can't thank them more highly enough for their perseverance and their compassion. It has been a very challenging times the last 12 months or so, and our staff have gone and shown the true quality of who they are. Ballarat is now, as of today, 80% plus double vaccinated. Again, another amazing effort from our vaccination teams. And today we exceeded 160,000 vaccinations in our public vaccination clinics across Ballarat and the region. A little over a month ago, we hit 100,000. In the last 4 weeks, we've gone up another 60,000. The team at Ballarat, the team at Ararat and the team at Horsham have done a phenomenal work for our communities, ably supported by the range of hospitals around our region, all doing their piece to bring relief from this pandemic. As the state begins to open up, it's a different kind of normal that we're starting to experience, but it's one that we as a health service have had time to prepare for. And once again, I'd just like to acknowledge the incredible job our staff have done in this respect. We all look forward to that moment where we can get back to a normal life. As Natalie's mentioned, our staff are who we are as an organisation. And last year we continued our program with Best Practice Australia to conduct our biannual staff survey. The results have seen a continual improvement in our overall satisfaction from staff, an increase in the number of workplaces reporting positive engagement, and highlighted our staff's commitment to the personal and patient safety aspects of their work. This has been a real effort to lift the organisation engagement with our staff over recent years, and this is something we continue to work on. Changing our culture is an everyday job, and the board and I and the executive team commit ourselves perennially to this challenge every day. Staff safety and wellbeing remain a high priority for the organisation. All staff should expect and receive a safe workplace to provide great care. Pleasingly, last year we saw our lost time injury rate drop to its lowest level in more than a decade, with 6.93 incidents per million hours worked, compared to the previous year of 17.2 incidents per million hours. This reduction of almost 6% is exceptionally pleasing and brings our performance below the industry rate for the first time in a number of years. This, however, is not the time for us to be complacent, and we all must continue to focus on providing safe care and a safe workplace. Throughout the year, we underwent a series of healthcare accreditations, including the National Safety and Quality Healthcare Standards, the National Disability Insurance Scheme Quality and Safety Standards, the Human Services Standards, the Baby Friendly Health Initiative, and our first accreditation under the new Aged Care Quality Standards. Accreditation is an evaluation process. Evaluation process involves assessment by qualified external peer reviewers to assess a health services or organisational compliance with safety and quality standards. There's also a focus on continuous quality improvement strategies to provide safe and high quality healthcare. Proudly, BHS continues to be fully accredited across all of these accreditation cycles, highlighting the incredibly high standard of care that our staff provide. Feedback from the various survey teams has been fantastic and a real credit to the hard work of the BHS team. My thanks and congratulations to all staff in making our organisation a great place to receive care and a preferred place to work. We are fortunate to attract brilliant hearts and minds to work at BHS. In particular, I would like to mention a number who have made a significant contribution both within BHS but in the broader community as well. In 2020, the past Ballarat Health Services President and Board Member Dr. Brian Hassett was recognised in the Queen's Birthday Honours for his services to medicine and the community of Ballarat. A more worthy recipient I could not think of. Ballarat Health Services nurse Samantha Brown was recently named the Victorian Trainee of the Year at the Victorian Training Awards. Samantha completed her Diploma of Nursing and Traineeship through Federation Uni last year and started working with BHS this year in the subacute ward. I'd also like to acknowledge Dr. Deb Kamaka, who is this year being awarded the prestigious Ranscog Young Gynaecologist Award for 2021-2022. This is awarded every 2 years and gives the opportunity to represent BHS through Ranscog at the Asia Oceania Confederate. She will be showcasing her work and research in women's health and spending a few days next year in a community welfare travelling fellowship funded by Ranscog. Congratulations to the recognition that these awards bring. Sadly, however, over the past year, we've also lost valuable members to the BHS family. I would like to take a moment to recognise and remember them. Bill Crawford, who was previously a board chair of both Ballarat Health Services and the Queen Elizabeth Centre, and after who, surprisingly enough, Bill Crawford Lodge is named. Bill was a true gentleman of the organisation, a committed community leader, and a fantastic person. His loss is deeply felt by all. Last year, we also saw, this year just gone, sorry, we also saw the death of Dr. John Stickland. John, for many years, was our head of cardiology. Again, a true gentleman and a professional, and was committed to bringing contemporary cardiology practice to the Ballarat community. This year just gone too, we also saw the sad passing of Louis Snyman, a nurse who worked in our team in the Bill Crawford Lodge. Claire Wong also passed away this year as part of our mental health team. And Julie Kramer, who was made such a difference on the Queen Elizabeth Switchboard team, with a friendly smile and a welcoming demeanour, made everyone's day brighter for knowing Julie. While we care for people throughout every stage of their life, the passing of colleagues is never easy. I would like just to take a moment now to also thank the tremendous support we have received from our local politicians, Michaela Settle, Juliana Addison, Yala Pulford, and Catherine King. These four individuals worked tirelessly for the Ballarat community, and as you would have heard, we've already had some acknowledgement tonight about the capital projects. These four have been tireless in bringing about our need to the highest level of government, and our success is in no small part due to their continued advocacy on behalf of our community. Finally, in closing, last year was the decision was made by the BHS board to recommend to the Secretary of Health an amalgamation between Ballarat Health Services, Women Healthcare Group, Sewell Regional Health, and Edenhope and District Memorial Hospital. This recommendation followed an extensive community engagement exercise and a substantial review and analysis on the relative merits of such a recommendation. We are currently awaiting an approval or a decision, sorry, from the Minister for Health. And should this be approved, this would see a huge step forward in the future of regional healthcare in Victoria. Change is a part of life, and this change is one that we think will be good for the Ballarat community and one for the broader Grampians community. We need to be able to deliver the best healthcare possible and set ourselves up for delivering this into the future. We have a small video to play.
The boards of Edenhope, Stawell, Horsham, Dimboola and Ballarat are united to deliver better health outcomes for our communities. Here in rural and regional Victoria, we deserve safe healthcare that works with and is tailored to our community and supports the changing face of our workforce. We're all different in scale and service offering, yet we have urgent and pressing challenges. We know there are better ways of delivering care for our region, and we can do it better together. There are opportunities to deliver better healthcare, enhance services and advance careers closer to home, including improving the quality and utilisation of services with safer practices and better systems, greater opportunities for recruiting, developing and retaining health workforces, and better use of time and resource, fostering community trust and engagement in each local health service with a stronger and more influential voice for rural healthcare in our region. More specifically, for Edenhope, we want better use of the acute facility and acuity for staff, and support for the aged care facility. Stawell will see better access to services for local people, greater support for our workforce and better use of space. The opportunities to have greater support across specialist and medical workforces and better access to services for the people of Horsham and Dimboola, with support for the Grampians as a sub-region. Ballarat get the opportunity to support healthcare at a local level with safe and quality service, lessening demand on the Ballarat Health Service and utilising their expertise and accessibility of workforce. We need to change. Healthcare is evolving and we deserve health outcomes equal to our city counterparts. We will drive the commitments and assurances for all our communities. So what can you do? You can be a positive part of this change. We can all be leaders for a brighter future. Support, encourage and champion your health service to succeed. Initially, we will ensure high quality care in the face of the COVID-19 pandemic and to support our dedicated staff. Healthier, stronger, together.
While it's really important to look at while that might be our future, it's really important not to forget our past. And we thought we'd take a couple of moments tonight to reflect on the history of our health service, right back from its beginnings in 1856. That's 165 years of service to Ballarat and our surrounds. What an incredible montage of the significant 165 years of Ballarat Health Services. And obviously we have progressed somewhat from the PPE arrangements from the 1919 influenza, and I'm sure we're all very grateful for that as well. Changing pace now, each year the board has the privilege of appointing life governors of Ballarat Health Services, an honour bestowed on those who have demonstrated outstanding commitment, dedication and support to the organisation. I'd like to introduce BHS Board Deputy Chair, David Miller, who will introduce you to this year's Life Governors. David.
Thanks, Dale. The appointment of Life Governors is an honour that the board confers on those who have made an outstanding contribution to Ballarat Health Services in the areas of philanthropy, outstanding service as a staff member, or a significant contribution as a volunteer. This year, we are thrilled to appoint 7 new Life Governors, and late last week, we were able to present them with their awards at a private ceremony in lieu of a public event. As part of this presentation, we were able to capture a message from each of the new Life Governors, and we will play that at the end of the introductions. With all that said, our first newly appointed Life Governor is Maureen Carley. Many of you would be familiar with Maureen from the Brick Wellness Centre. Maureen has been a volunteer for 4.5 years and has made quite an impact to BHS. Maureen has assisted with many of the remote volunteer programs initiated during COVID-19 on-site suspension of volunteer programs. She was the assistant team leader of the Scrubs for Staff program, making many sets of scrubs and assisting many volunteers to sew. Maureen has also been the cheerleading program team leader during COVID-19, a program established to produce handmade and personally written cards of thanks sent from volunteers to BHS staff. Maureen initiated the volunteer remote wellbeing program and is a key volunteer developing social support remotely by phone. Maureen calls BHS clients referred to the program in order to have a friendly chat and see how they are going during COVID-19. She's been a great advocate, encouraging other volunteers to get involved in the new remote programs. If there was one person in our organisation that truly lived our values, teamwork, respect, accountability and compassion, it would be Maureen. Congratulations, Maureen. Our next newly appointed Life Governor is David Keane. Every year for the past 11 years, BHS volunteer Santa Dave has started in October doing his rounds to collect gifts for distribution from businesses large and small, all across Ballarat and our region. In 2020, and despite the pandemic, 40 businesses contributed to the Santa Sack. In the week before Christmas, Santa Dave made his rounds to visit people who are undergoing care at Christmas time. He brings joy to dialysis patients, children, the special care nursery, BRIC, and the medical day unit. In 2020, Santa Dave adapted to deliver his message at Christmas from the North Pole via Zoom, while his elves, also known as the staff, delivered the presents to patients. Dave is part of the fabric here at BHS, and this year we'll welcome him back again on his rounds. Congratulations, Dave. Our next newly appointed Life Governor is Andrew Oliver. Andrew comes from a family of manufacturers here in Ballarat with a history stretching back to 1856. Andrew's family arrived very soon after the foundation of the Minor Hospital on Christmas Day, 1855. Donations from the firm of Oliver and Stevens date back to the hospital records to the early 1900s. In the modern day and continuing in this tradition, Andrew Oliver and the Oliver Family Foundation have been dedicated donors to Ballarat Health Services in recent years, funding life-saving equipment in the children's ward, much needed equipment in ICU and the emergency department during COVID, and the development of new technology and approaches to care in the prosthetics and orthotics department. Andrew and Jill Oliver make a substantial contribution to the Ballarat community with donations to a wide range of institutions within the city. Congratulations, Andrew. It's my pleasure to introduce Mark Patterson as the next newly appointed Life Governor. Mark was a member of the Ballarat Health Services Board of Directors from 2008 to 2015 and has been a member of the Ballarat Health Services Foundation Council for 14 years. During Mark's time on the foundation, he has seen the foundation grow from $900,000 to over $5 million. Mark is Executive Manager, Sport and Active Living at the City of Ballarat, is Chairman of Keystone Radiology and a board member of Ballarat and Clarendon College. He is committed to working with Ballarat Health Services Foundation through its next phases of growth in support of a capital campaign to support projects which will augment the redevelopment of Base Hospital. Congratulations, Mark. Our next newly appointed Life Governor is Jan Ross OAM. As a member of the Ballarat Base Hospital Trained Nurses League, Jan has had a long-term commitment to supporting the Good Samaritan Fund through her personal fundraising campaigns. She is a member of the Ballarat Health Services Foundation Council and brings her extensive experience and expertise as Director of Nursing of Casterton Hospital, Director of Nursing and Chief Executive Officer of Creswick Hospital, and Director of Nursing and Chief Executive Officer for Penshurst District Health Services to the table at Council. Jan also held the position of CEO of Colac Area Health and was a consultant in health services and government coordinating surveys throughout Victoria. Jan was President of the Ballarat Trained Nurses League and received a Medal of the Order of Australia for her long-term commitment to rural health and is a proud Rotarian of 29 years. Congratulations, Jan. Our sixth newly appointed Life Governor is Maureen Woodford. Nearly 13 years ago, Maureen returned to Ballarat Base Hospital, the place where she first started work at age 17 in 1967 to volunteer her services. Maureen trained as a student nurse, went on to work as a Division 2 nurse and later a nurse's aide, working at BHS and St John of God Hospital at different stages in her career. Maureen volunteers in the emergency department, Ballarat Regional Integrated Cancer Centre, the Volunteer Simulated Patient Program, team leader of the Welcome Team, and is a member of the Volunteer Liaison Group. During COVID-19, Maureen participated in the cheerleading program, sending handmade cards with messages of support to BHS staff. Maureen is a welcome face to staff, visitors and patients. Nothing is ever too much trouble for Maureen. Congratulations, Maureen. Our final Life Governor Award is presented to an individual who has provided outstanding services to Ballarat Health Services as a member of staff. This award goes to David Deutscher. David is an upper gastrointestinal surgeon with extensive training and experience in general and upper GI surgery. David joined Ballarat Health Services in 1989. He pioneered the introduction of laparoscopic operations for the gallbladder, the colon and hernias, whilst also helping to develop an ERCP service, removing bile duct stones via an endoscope. He has provided valuable and collegiate leadership within the surgical department for many years and is well respected by colleagues and patients alike. His commitment to training has benefited several generations of surgical trainees at BHS, and his mentoring of new consultant colleagues has been key in establishing the surgical service we see today. His advocacy for regional surgical centres as a vital part of the Victorian health system is well known and has led to the development of the wide range of surgery we see in Ballarat today. David commenced as Clinical Director of the Grampians Integrated Cancer Service in 2016 and has had a tremendous impact on enhancing clinician engagement across the Grampians region. He has also been a strong advocate for patient improvement and has ensured the consumer has had a seat at the table at all our events and in service improvement activities. Congratulations, David.
I'd just like to say thank you. It's a great honour to receive the award. I volunteer in the Wellness Centre at Brick, and it's a very rewarding place to be part of. The staff, all of Brick staff are wonderful, from admin right through to medical. The volunteers are great, and the Wellness Centre is a very special place, and I think our patients and their families really feel cared for, and I can't wait to get back there. Thank you.
Yeah, no, I'd just like to thank the hospital itself for the award today. I've spent the last 11 years volunteering at the base hospital, playing Santa, and without the hospital actually was Sue Jacobs that helped me get all this set off when she was a volunteer coordinator, to be able to do Santa. We've got that off the ground. It's been going, like I said, for 11 years without businesses donating towards the cause that I've been doing to be able to give stuff out to patients in Brick and Children's Ward and Special Care Nursery, etc. It would never be going the way it is, so I'd like to thank them as well. Congratulate all the other recipients today. And once again, I'd like to thank the hospital for nominating me for this award.
First, I'll thank certainly the Board of Ballarat Health Services for making me, well, the family really, a life governorship. It came out of the blue from Belinda, certainly didn't expect it. And I suppose the family over the years hasn't done it for those reasons. But just a little bit of background on the family history. My great grandfather was a member of the Benevolent Asylum Committee from 1913 to 1939, which was the start of the QEGC. And if anyone wants to have a bit of a look at the Benevolent Asylum, beware of what they did in the early 1900s. But I suppose that started 4 generations of helping the community. The second was Great Uncle Percy, who was also on the committee of the asylum. And thirdly, my father was 27 years with the QEH, and he also had a life governorship. So I'm pretty proud that the family has been recognised after all those years, really, and can't thank the board enough.
I would just like to thank the Ballarat Health Services Board for recognising my contribution to the health service through this great honour. Look, I'm really humbled by the award. Totally took me by surprise. But look, it has been a fantastic journey and an honour for me to be part of Ballarat Health Services probably for about the last 15 years, both on the board and through the foundation. So look, I'd like to acknowledge the great support that I've had by all of the board members that I've worked with on both those organisations, and in particular the chairs of the board, so Lynn McLennan, Andrew Fall and Rowena Coots, who led the board when I was on it. I suppose when I reflect, one of the great highlights was obviously the development of BRIC. What a fantastic service that delivers to the citizens and the community of Ballarat and the broader region. And look, I'd just like to also acknowledge the wonderful work that Ballarat Health Services do, in particular all of the staff who just provide such an enormous contribution to the health and well-being of the Ballarat and broader region community. So, and look, it's been an honour for me to be involved. Like, I'm delighted to accept the Life Governor Award. I'd like to thank the CEO, Dale, for his great support and everyone that I've had an involvement with along that journey. So thank you very much.
I'd like to thank the Board of Ballarat Health Services and Dale Fraser for this great honour and privilege to be awarded a life governorship. It was a little disconcerting for me to learn that I started at Ballarat Health Services, Ballarat Base Hospital, in 1959, and Dale Fraser was born in 1968. So that is an issue. I had a wonderful connection with Ballarat Health Services as a student. I came back as a teacher, as a supervisor, before I then went on and increased my experience in lots of other health services, namely Flinders Medical Centre in Adelaide, a 500-bed hospital, and coming back to Victoria as the DON of Casterton Hospital, the DON manager of Penshurst Health Services, as the DON CEO of Creswick, and finally appointed as the CEO of Colac Area Health. So I moved out of nursing. I've been the president of the past trainees, the Ballarat Base Hospital Trained Nurses League, for the last 2 years, but I also was president there in the 70s. All the people that belong to the league have got great memories of Ballarat Health Services and the experience that we gained with wonderful charge nurses, hard, but taught us, and surgeons, not surgeons like Mr. Deutscher, who is a nice person. We had very hard people that we had to learn from. But all that gave me a rounded way of looking at health, and certainly it stood me in good stead as the CEO of a medium-sized rural health service. The experience that I got at Ballarat Health Services stood me in good stead.
Mr. Fraser, members of the Board of Directors, ladies and gentlemen, I am absolutely amazed and astounded that I've received this award. It took me, when the email came through, it took me a couple of times to read through it and realise what I had, and I just felt very, very special. And as a part of the large volunteering team, I'm picking it up on behalf of them as well. So I'm very proud to have this award and feel very humble and appreciative of it. Cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale, Natalie and the board for the honour of this Life Governorship Award. Indeed, it is an honour and I'm most grateful. I was actually born in Newell House at Ballarat Base Hospital, and since then I've had a relationship of great affection with this wonderful hospital. Not only the hospital, but its people and the patients, who have taught me life's meaning and purpose in the service of surgery. I have witnessed ups and downs as BHS has negotiated various governments, boards, CEOs and CMOs. But what's impressed me every year has been the courage and trust of our patients and the commitment, innovation and compassion of our doctors. Of course, this applies to all our caregivers, from the cleaners to nurses, technicians, engineers, but I'm going to focus on the doctors because that's what I am. I'm grateful to my colleagues, particularly those at Ballarat Surgical Clinic, for their inspiration and leadership, honing my lifestyle and my style of surgery. I'm grateful for Ballarat Health Services, who've provided a forum of innovation that allowed me to introduce laparoscopic surgery, ERCP, multidisciplinary team meetings, and our teaching list, operative teaching list. And I must acknowledge Matthew Hadfield's support in that. Be one of the few dedicated teaching lists in this country that focuses on technical details. In other words, to turn out the Dusty Martins, to give our trainees Dusty Martin skills. I also want to acknowledge my wife Shantini and my children, Charles, Peter and Eva, who have provided the foundations of love and family that permits a person's career to emerge. A lot of that's the past. The past is not relevant unless it informs the future. And looking forward, there are huge possibilities at Ballarat Health Services to continue to evolve our compassionate and holistic care. I'd like to stress 3 or 4 areas of culture, innovation, infrastructure, and caring for our carers. So culture. In my view, from a cultural point of view, a tipping point was on the 25th of the 7th, 2016, when Dale Fraser joined as CEO. I've observed a forging of a compassionate and grateful culture, and I wish him all the best in continuing that really important endeavour. It is important that we create medical leaders who are embedded in the shop floor experience, but also who are engaged with our administrative teams, so that there's reciprocal respect and trust to allow us to deliver competent care. And I'd venture to say that actually starts with our students and interns, that they be educated in these matters. Modern healthcare is incredibly complex. The systems are incredibly complex, and it requires really high-functioning, interactive, respectful teams to effect proper patient care. And what of innovation? It's a wonderful idea, and I'm afraid that this word has lost a lot of its punch in this modern era of risk-averse, overcautiousness. But at BHS, with our COVID lessons, I think we have huge opportunities to rethink our purpose, style and methods of healthcare and delivery. That's patient and community-centred, and it's carer supportive. And from a medical point of view, just think of the contribution that AI and robotics could make in the area of innovation to improve patient care. And from a systems point of view, what a wonderful addition it would be to have a unified IT system and electronic medical records. But all that will take a lot of work. And infrastructure, boy, 2022 has awesome opportunities with a cooperation between the base Ballarat Health Services and St John's, as both embark on significant infrastructure developments. Think of biophilic design, sustainable and energy efficient buildings, employee and patient friendly. Perhaps you could even think of childcare, and technically advanced. Caring for the carers, you know, stepping back from 30 years of work and engagement with not only patients but students and junior doctors, and engaging now with my daughter and her husband-to-be, who are advanced trainees, I've been able to reflect on modern doctoring. It does concern me that a lot of them at this point feel exhausted by the huge demands of training, advancing their careers, of forming solid lifelong relationships, of the medical, legal and compliance environment, and a number of them seem quite disillusioned. And that's my senior colleagues as well. To the point where I think there is a risk of erosion of the compassion and idealism. I think at Ballarat Health Services we can continue to create a nurturing environment, nurturing curiosity and inquiry, technical and intellectual excellence, and compassion and patient-centred care. So I wish Ballarat Health Services all the best in the days ahead. There are big tasks ahead, but there are huge opportunities. And given all the complexities of what we could talk, each topic we talk for hours, but I'll just leave you with my father's story. My father, if any of you have had a Deutsche Mail, you'll know what technical and engineering excellence is about. He assumed that people were well qualified. He assumed that people knew what they were doing. They had degrees, there were compliance and what have you. What he was most impressed with was compassionate care. When his doctor ruffled up the pillow and helped him sit up a little straighter because that eased his congestive failure, that was care for Dad. So I pass on my best wishes to you all and look forward to continued association with Ballarat Health Services. Thank you.
I'm sure you will all agree what a fantastic group of individuals who have all done so much for Ballarat Health Services. These are the people who truly go above and beyond for our patients and for our services. I would now like to take this opportunity to announce another new Life Governor this evening, and that is our Board Chair, Natalie Rita. Natalie joined the Ballarat Health Services Board of Directors in 2016, serving on multiple committees before being appointed as Chair in 2019. As Chair, Natalie has been a strong leader and has overseen work on the BHS Master Plan, COVID strategy for the Grampians community, and the Grampians Partnership Project. Natalie has particular expertise in strategy development to deliver transformational change, facilitation, and strategic and business planning. Natalie's skills lie in seeing the big picture, translating numbers into strategy, and maintaining a focus on achieving the desired outcomes for the project. These skills were called upon when Natalie played an integral role in the partnership project by working closely with the board chairs of Wimmera Healthcare Group, Eden Hope and District Memorial Hospital, and Stawell Regional Health on the proposed new health service. As Chair, her support to the CEO has been without question, as is her passion for BHS. And on a personal note, can I say it's been a great honour and privilege to work with Natalie on the board of Ballarat Health Services. Congratulations, Natalie. And I wonder, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, David and Dale and the whole team. It's a huge privilege. I honestly can't follow David Deutscher and say anything of any merit. That was really moving, listening to all of the other Life Governors, and I am truly humbled. I haven't had the length of relationship that the other Life Governors have had, but it has been a really wonderful experience going on this journey, particularly over the last couple of years. And I just want to thank everybody who's been part of that, and thank you for this enormous privilege today. But David, can I say right back at you, because the actual final Life Governor Award goes to you as Deputy Chair, and thank you for being such a terrific colleague through all of the many amalgamation discussion meetings. David joined the Ballarat Health Service Board of Directors in 2015 and was appointed as Deputy Chair in 2016 and again in 2019. David was Deputy Chief of Staff to Steve Brack's former Premier of Victoria, and prior to that he worked for the City of Ballarat, as well as holding roles with Ballarat Regional Board for Planning and Development, Victorian Department of Labor, and a federal member of Parliament. David was appointed an inaugural member of the State Government's Central Highlands Regional Partnership that aims to develop new ways for regional and rural communities to engage with government and participate in policy development. He's also been a member of the Grampians Regional Development Australia Committee. And during his time as a BHS Board Director, David has chaired and been a member of many of our committees and oversaw the master planning and development of the Gardner Pittard building and the work being undertaken for the current redevelopment of the Ballarat Base Hospital. David's willingness to contribute and participate in Ballarat Health Service events and his passion for BHS and the Ballarat community has been unwavering. Those who know David will be aware he's a passionate Melbourne Football Club supporter who will hold this Life Governor Award in the same stead as his Demons Cheese Board. David, I'll throw it back to you to say a few words if you'd like.
Well, this is totally unexpected. Thank you, Natalie. I'm honoured and humbled to be made a Life Governor. This organisation has played a big part in my life, not just in the last 5.5, 6 years, but I was actually born like David Deutscher. I was born at Base Hospital, Eildon House, and my father was a long-time psychiatric nurse working for the predecessor organisation within Ballarat Health Services. My grandmother, in fact, spent her final years as a resident of the Queen Elizabeth Centre. So the Ballarat Health Services played a very key role in my life as a member of this Ballarat community. As I said, I'm humbled and honoured. It was unexpected, but I'm so proud, and it is up there with my Demons membership. You're quite right, Natalie. Thank you very much, Dale. Thank you, fellow board members, and the wonderful executive team and all the staff of Ballarat Health Services.
Can I add my congratulations to all our Life Governors? You know, these events are, my highlight of the year. I get the great privilege to meet humble people who make a selfless contribution to our health service and our community, who do it with such humility and passion and dedication, and to be in their presence for a moment is truly uplifting. And congratulations also to the great recognition of both Natalie and to David, two very worthy recipients for this award. Before I finish, I'd like to take a moment to thank the team that supports myself and the board. I've already mentioned the executive team, but I'd really like to single out Katrina and Belinda, who work tirelessly behind the scenes and deserve much credit for the success of our organisation. I'd also like to take a moment to thank and acknowledge the families who support each of our caregivers. They each play an incredible role of support for our care team, and would like to acknowledge that your patience and support throughout COVID has made a significant difference to the ability of your loved ones to come to work every day and to provide great care. Ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of this evening's event. Thank you for joining us and for bearing with us as we hold our celebrations online. We hope to soon be able to deliver such events again in person very, very soon. Thank you all again for joining us this evening, and please do enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you.